Hi everybody, I'm Sarah Ockwell-Smith. Welcome to my latest SOS parenting video. Today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about early morning waking, that when your child wakes up at 4 or 5 a.m. and then they're ready and raring to go and you aren't really. So this is one of the things that I'm often asked to change by parents. How do I stop my child waking up at 4:30, 5:30, even 6 a.m? How do I get just an extra hour in bed? Or how do I get them to lay quietly and not come through to me till 7 a.m? And I'm going to say this right now, and it's going to be unpopular, but early morning waking is one of the things that is absolutely hardest to change sleep-wise, particularly using gentle methods. Why is it the hardest? Because actually early morning waking is the human norm. Your baby, your toddler, your preschooler, they don't have a sleep problem when they wake up at 5 or 6 a.m. You do, as the adult. It's abnormal the way that we, and when I say we, I mean me as well, we all sleep abnormally late as adults. So as a species, we're just like any other mammal. If you go to a zoo and you see what time they start waking, it's all around the sort of sunrise time, 5:30, 6, 6:30. If we're talking about summertime, it's going to be really early, maybe edging towards sort of 7ish in the winter. But as a mammal, we should wake around about sunrise. So if we're talking the height of summer, that could be like 5:30 a.m. It is normal as a mammal to rise with the sun and also to go to bed with sunsets, which we also don't do as adults. And again, that's something our babies and our toddlers and our older children are much more normal than us. But the problem is, if early morning waking is the human norm, we are meant to wake up as the sun starts to rise. As the sun starts to rise, two things happen to our body. The increasing heat that comes with the sun encourages a sort of a slight temperature rise in our body, and also the increasing light that comes with sun. So even if you have the best of blackout blinds, it's never quite right, a little bit still creeps in. What happens then is that our eye sends a message to our brain, say it's daytime, wake up. And with the increasing temperature and the increasing light, we start to secrete cortisol, which is the hormone we need to be wide awake, which then sends a message to our brain to inhibit melatonin, the hormone of sleep. So we're basically ready to wake up and get ready to greet the day. If we're a baby, toddler or preschooler, or even older child, that is. As adults, we tend to not want to greet the day at 5:30 anymore. So the question is, what do we do about this perfectly normal behaviour? Well, I understand how difficult it is. I have 4 kids. I absolutely remember the days of having to deal with 5 a.m. early starts every day. But the easiest way to deal with it is actually to reset your expectations of early morning waking is the human, or indeed the mammalian norm. My kid doesn't have a problem. I do as the adult. It's actually easier to fix what you do as the adult. So by that I mean, could you go to bed a tiny bit earlier so that you could get up earlier? Could you embrace the early mornings? And actually it takes not so long if you sort of have this bit of a mindset shift. Within a month or two, if you're embracing the early mornings, you'll probably find them an awful lot easier. So is there anything that you could do to make the early mornings more welcome to you? It's actually quite a good time to get up and do some exercise, or I used to find actually early morning housework, like cleaning my kitchen so that it was clean for the day ahead. That really helped me with that mindset shift as well. Or actually, is there something you could do to make it a little bit easier if you've got slightly older children? Like, could you do a little bit of TV time then, or screen time, just so that you can just have a bit of chill out time? For me, I used to have all of my kids pile into bed and we used to have cuddle time, and that would get me an extra 15 minutes of not sleep but rest. What can you do to help? Well, if you have a toddler who needs to drop their nap, that I would say you probably got a 50-50 chance that will improve early morning wake-ups. I'm not going to go and talk through nap drops because I actually have a video on my YouTube channel about toddler nap drops. So go search for that video and drop it and watch it. If your toddler is ready to drop their nap, then you have a decent chance that it will also help early morning waking. The other thing that, if we look at the research into early morning waking, the only other thing that has an impact statistically, aside from dropping naps, is having a later bedtime. Now, I know a lot of people will say, I could put my kid to bed at 7, 8, 9, 10 p.m. and they will still wake up at 5 a.m. Or actually, sometimes they wake up even earlier if they go to bed later. And I get that, but as when I spoke in my nap drop video, it takes time for the body clock to reset. And for most parents, they'll try later bedtime 2 or maybe 3 times, and they'll find out it doesn't help early morning waking, and so it doesn't help, and they'll stop that trying that later bedtime. But actually it takes somewhere between 1 and 2 months for the body clock to reset. So you need to try that late bedtime for at least a month, if not 2 months, to assess if it has an impact on early morning waking. It isn't a quick impact, and initially, yes, they may even wake up earlier, but I would say 50% of the time you will see slightly later morning waking, about a month, 6 to 8 weeks, a month to 2 months after moving that bedtime later. The other thing that I would do is just to have a look at the environment. So get the best blackout blind you can use. Actually, I think the best blackout you can use is tinfoil or aluminum foil if you're in America. Get a water bottle, spritz a little bit of water and cut out that foil, cut it to shape so it fits the window so that it blocks out as much light as possible. It's great because it's super cheap and really portable. It's a great thing to take away on holiday. And I'd also think about, is there anything that comes on noise-wise in your house in the early mornings? So does your central heating kick in? Does a pipe make a noise? Is there an alarm that kicks in or something somewhere? Think about all the things in the environment. There's a small chance things will change there, but ultimately I think it's about understanding that early morning waking is the human norm. It's actually us as adults that have an issue with it. I'd look at timings, I'd look at naps, I'd check the environment, but ultimately the best thing I think we can do as adults is to accept it and understand it won't last forever. I promise in the next few years you'll be moaning that your child doesn't wake up early enough and it's hard to get them out of bed when they're tweens and teens. So in my book Between, about tweens and teens, I actually talk about remembering these years when they woke up early and you were desperate for them to sleep for longer, because now they're older, it's impossible to get them out of bed till lunchtime. So, you can't win. I hope that helps a little bit. Thanks. Bye-bye.